In this video, I'd like to cover a little bit more with stairs, and within stairs, we are going to take a look at some of the options that we have available within stair, which is called stair by component. And with that, I'm going to, under the circulation panel, I'm going to choose stair. And then from here, we have in a previous video created straight run stairs for our switchback stairs in our fire rated stairwell that we have as an emergency, that serves as an emergency exit as well at the bottom. Here we have a few options. We are going to, I'm going to stick with the cast in place stair, monolithic stair. Level 1 is our base. We do want to make sure before we start drawing anything that we do go through and we choose level 2, say apply, and here you can always change what type of run that you have. I'm going to change this to run center and then offset and then have the actual run width. Based upon the egress, you may need to make this a little bigger or a little bit, usually bigger is a little bit better than, whatever the minimum is, but also you want to go through and keep in mind, keeping the size constraints within your building. You don't want to have too much of the stair taking up more so than what is required by code. So I'm going to go ahead and show you there are 4 other options here that are stair by component. One is a full step spiral. So when you go to, I'm going to just kind of build this outside of the building. When I click, I can set here, it already has calculated that we need 34 risers. So I need to figure out where do I want to start and then where is this going to stop. So if I go through and let's look at having 6 feet. So if I just click where I want it to start, and then this would be where where I clicked was where the stairs start, and then the path goes up until we have 34 risers. If I do a center in spiral, so it goes through and creates a spiral run that's less than 360 degrees. So this one will create a 360 degree spiral. When I go through and click and set this one, let's do about 6 feet again. We'll do 6'6", and then I go through and set in what would be my total amount of risers. So I'm going to go ahead and go all the way around and click, and we'll go ahead and place. So it did not generate an automatic landing, but we can go through and look at this in the 3D view here in a second. We can have an L-shape winder. When you get to this is just automatically going to generate an L-shape for you, and it's a click and place by component. We may get a little error message here in a second dealing with the railings. This is very common for a lot of stairs, or maybe when we hit the green check mark. And then we also have the U-shape winder, which if we go ahead and again, you can see the shape that is created, and kind of based off that, I'll go ahead and click to place. And we'll take a look at all 4 of these in the 3D view. Hitting the green check mark, again, we may get some warnings. I'm going to go ahead and just close the warnings. Let's go to the 3D view. So we can always clean up railings and everything later. Within the scope of this project, railings, we can kind of go through and use what is generated in this case, especially on this L-shaped winder. There's some very steep ones, very steep kind of transitions, or very sharp ones. All right, we're able to go through and see kind of the effect of what we looked at having very similar on the center spiral, and we could go through and have, in some cases, making changes to those as well. But there's our spiral staircases. Here are our L-shaped winder and U-shaped winder staircases. And if we ever wanted to go through and kind of play around with any of these stairs by component, we always can go through and make these a little bit different. So here, the one I want to kind of try again is going to be the center cut spiral. So let's go ahead and do one like this, where it's not quite so circular. And this one didn't generate a warning. So here's one where there's that center spiral. So you can see it's a little bit more of a gradual. It's not so kind of winding, kind of spiral shape, but it is kind of curved and flows from level 2 down to level 1, or level 1 up to level 2, however you want to see it. So you can definitely tell these are all known as stair by component, and these go through and make using stairs very easy in Revit. And this is something that if you wish to use some of these stair by component options, so these are some of the great features that Revit uses a lot of very common stair types by component. In another video, we're going to be taking a look at how to create maybe some and design some maybe some custom stairs of a drawing type, or also by creating a sketch, which is our 5th option here. And you can see even from the tooltip, that's what we're going to end up looking at, is we can actually modify and kind of make our own kind of staircase and things like that. So again, just looking at stairs, if you have certain options that you like for example, let me hit the red X. Usually what I like to do is if I have a staircase that I want to use, I usually highlight the entire thing outside of it. I'm going to use the move command. And then what I do is I'm going to pick a certain point on here, and I'm going to now move this into my building. So then that way, and if you need to, you can always rotate this as well as you may need. So I went ahead and just use the move command. I can also use the rotate command and go through and rotate this. I'm going to turn it 90 degrees. And you're able to go through and provide some of that within your model. Let me go ahead and hide this wall here, and we'll be able to see now there's our staircase as it goes up to the second floor. So there are going to be some scenarios where you're going to see I have a ceiling in here. In another video I'll show how to place ceilings, but also we need to look at cutting out and having an area open for the staircase as well as the flooring, so that way we have an opening, that way people can get up to that second floor. But this is kind of a very common method that I follow as I go through and build that outside of the building. There's just a lot of things to click on, a lot of items, and then I move them into place, and then we will go through in either 1 or 2 options. We can either, which I will show in the videos, we can either do a boundary, or we can open up, create an opening in our multiple levels and things like that, which is probably going to be one of our best case scenarios for our Keystone library. So this concludes the video on stair by component and looking at what kind of options that you have that are already kind of preloaded, and what options Revit does to make life a little bit easier when you're looking at creating just very common types of stairs that you see in a lot of building design.